everybody, and welcome to our Overly Brett Twitch channel. Now you're here with your toes in our somewhat tepid waters, I guess we've introduced ourselves. We're the Bloodthirsty Puppets, I am Blood Puppets, and today I'm in charge of these, well, let's call them cats. There's no way I'm going to control any of these Muppets, will I? No. So, today we aren't actually playing a game. We are doing Session 0 for the Mondays Get Nuked. I temporarily have a title called Survive or Thrive. Whether this will continue to be the title, because in the tradition of all of our Session Zeros, the campaign name gets destroyed. So, with that in mind, go around, everyone introduce yourselves, and then we'll give this a quick start. Let's start with the top left.
Hi, I am Spanners, and I'll work out who I'm playing in a minute.
Cool. Below that?
I'm Terracon, and about the same.
Okay, smooth. Top right.
I'm Skagit, and I'm not sure what I'm doing here.
Oh man. And bottom right.
Hi, I'm Thirstian. I kind of know what I'm doing here, and I already know who my character is going to be. Hooray!
Spoiler.
Oh, I have to stop touching things because you two disappeared off of the camera. Okay.
Yeah.
This could be a very short game if this continues to be like this. Alright, so we are going to be playing in the setting of Nuked, which is a post-apocalyptic setting. We are going to be using our spice system for this. Yeah, I think that's probably all the normal intro bullshitty things. Oh, rules.
Chat rules.
Chat rules. Don't be a talk about someone's race. Don't be a talk about someone's gender. Most importantly, don't be a tool. There we go. Nailed it. Okay. Alright, so we're going to do some of the social convention-y things. Some of them, I'm not going to do them all, but I'm going to do the obvious ones. The ones that are kind of really important. Most importantly, because we're on a stream, everyone knows the word that they cannot say, and it has a C in it. Don't worry, the F word is still okay, the other one is not. And the one after that is, please don't talk over each other. There are two of you here who are terrible for doing it. These two guys here, please don't talk over each other. That's pretty much most of the social rules. And it would be awesome if people could turn up a little bit on time. I apologise, I was slightly late today, but it's just so I could set up the cameras. No other things really. Just because it's just, you know, good etiquette and the whole respect thing. You know, respect me, respect each other, and respect the narrative, and we'll get on pretty good. Logistics wise, we are going to be using Zoom. I'm not going to ask or require anything else. I mean, it kind of depends. Do you guys want to use some very basic maps? And when I say very basic, I mean if I can't draw them with squares, they're probably not going to get drawn. But I can make most rooms square. It's not impossible. So I'm going to leave this decision down to you guys. Whether you want to be using little maps and some puppet minis that will be wandering around on those, or whether you are happy just doing theatre. So I'm actually going to leave that decision in your guys' hands.
So, with the maps, we can kind of see where we have wandered.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool.
So
I generally don't know where I am in real life, so yeah.
And the only thing that I like about maps in general, if we're doing something that is over streams and such, is battle maps. I kind of like to know roughly where I'm at regarding to an enemy or to the allies. If there is 10 feet or if it's 100 feet, it's very easy to, in a combat situation or any sort of interaction with other people, to I thought I were in the forest. Well, I didn't say you were, but I kind of said that I went off. Yeah, but you didn't say you went into the forest. Okay, so I'm not in the forest. No, you didn't say that you went into the forest. Those kind of discussions can be very easily eliminated by just a grid map. You don't need to make like the fancy prepaid maps for it. I mean, often it kind of just needs to have like a small miniature of a letter or whatever, and you can kind of easily see the distances and stuff if there is that. Otherwise, I don't really need a map.
Okay. Okay.
for travels or whatever, or in between. But I do like the maps when there is battles to kind of calculate roughly where people are
Okay.
in comparison to each other.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. In that case, you guys will be needing Roll20. That will be the map hack of choice. So you're going to need to make accounts if you haven't got one already. You already have one. I know that Thirsty has one. I think Skag may or may not have Roll20.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
You don't know what you're doing here. Spanners?
Don't have it, but can do.
Okay. I'll put that in a note to walk you through Roll20. Okay. I will basically only be doing very basic maps, so it will be a case of most of the time it will start off as a blank map, and then we'll draw it on basically as we go along. And then I'll have your little puppets wandering around as your icons, so. Alright, okay, cool. Which means I'll need to change my overlay a little bit so that the those people blissfully sitting at home trying to watch us and understand what the hell is going on will also be able to see
says
them.
Pete's favour.
Yes, I'm fairly certain of that. It does that. Hey, look, it's gone. There you go. Are you happy now? Jeez, man, what the fuck?
Well, the text is inside my cam now, so I should be getting royalties for the exclamation mark.
All right, get out of here.
That way.
Oh, for goodness sake! No, do not fuck you guys. I'm not bowing to Russia like this.
You already did.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was to get rid of like the basic. No, that was to get rid of the basic fuck up. But you know, as we know, I'm doing this completely on the fly today.
Now you're defending your actions.
All right, shut up. Otherwise, I'll start spamming out what you know, the kind comment yesterday. All right.
Yeah, but I do agree with it. I stand by it.
Okay, all right, fine. So just as a heads up, I'm kind of looking to do like the arcs, each arc over between like 10 and 12 sessions. So after like 10 or 12 sessions, if partway through that you decide that you really hate us all and you really don't want to come back, or you don't have time to, like life pressures or whatever, feel no qualms, just let me know and then we'll work out an out. It's handier to let me know before than after. However, I will be out for most of March. Due to the fact I'm not in my country. I will be flying across to the globe. So that'll be 3 weeks in a row that I'm out. Is there anything that you guys want to do in those 3 weeks that I'm out? Do you want to just not do anything? Or do you want to try and run a 2 or a 3 shot? It's up to you guys.
Well, I did propose that 3 shot, but no one said anything about it, so...
I did. I'm there. If I can be piratey, I'm there.
This is
no
me
clue
bringing
either.
it up for everyone to answer now. So this
Still, we have one answer.
I'm reading it through right now, goddammit.
Oh, is it on somewhere?
Yes. Oh,
Yes, it's in Discord. So don't just
Yeah.
Why don't I look at that?
don't just put it on mute. You have to read these things if you're in it.
You have to ping me. That's the thing.
Oh right, you've got it on where we have to actually do the @skag thing. All right, fair enough. Ugh.
I'll read it through, but most possibly.
All right.
Yeah.
In that case, Thirsty, you and I are going to need to sit down so I can talk you through all this behind-the-scenes techie crap.
yeah. That was why I mentioned it on Discord. As in, like, if I can't work that out, it won't happen. But we won't, publicise it first.
Yep.
Now it's publicised.
Yep. Exactly. I wonder why I did it this way.
So now it has to happen.
Yep. Run Thirsty through. What the hell are we using? Expert. Yeah, that's the one. Streaming. Okay. Okie dokie. Alright, cool. Whether you do or do not, I will have zip control because I will probably be flying. So do what you want. Mother's drunk. Okay. We have a general house rule here that if you say something, you said it. If you do something, you've done it. If you want to have a proper out-of-character conversation, we generally have a out-of-character conversation word. Our word of choice is cucumber, because how often do you generally say cucumber in a normal conversation? I now say that, and I have a feeling you guys are going to try and rip this apart, but That's generally the way that we tend to do that. Just as a heads up, if you feel like using the word cucumber, go for it. But that generally denotes our out-of-character conversation. Okay, there's that one. Alright, some of the more of the gritty things. Is there something... I say this because I, as a GM and a player, have no bars. There's nothing that I won't go into. Now, I understand that some people have lines and bars. Is there something that you guys don't want to go into, think is like the step too far, details that you don't want to have gone over or anything like that? I say this because you're generally going to need to say what those are, because as I said, what I consider okay, a lot of other people don't. So is there anything that you guys don't want to go into, don't want to see? It's okay to say you're not okay about the stuff.
I'm not okay with blood.
You want me to run
I'm
a
joking.
goreless game?
No.
Says the guy who ran a pixie vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they were awesome.
No.
They were.
So, for example, if I start maiming small children, you guys are going to be fine with that?
In that same campaign that I was a pixie vampire, we slaughtered a whole orphanage. I'm pretty sure I'm okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just to get a disease off me, which we needed one pure blood, but instead we just did a whole orphanage just to get it overdone quickly.
Yes, we did, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, are there lines that you guys don't want crossed? Alright then, I've never actually had a group say that they're uncomfortable with not uncomfortable with anything at all. Okay, good to know.
Yes. I think the basic one is just as long as Twitch will let us broadcast it.
Okay.
Okay, that's going too far. Showing dead bodies? No.
Well, we won't be showing them. This is an RPG. I don't know if you realise, Terracom, this is all in our mind. It's not actually.
Yeah. It's pretend.
It's pretend.
Really? I thought we were making an actual world and designing it and...
Dude, you're about a year late for that.
Yeah. Alright, so what I've written down is, as far as Twitch will allow us, we have no holds barred. However, if you guys do need to stop and say, nope, just fucking say. Because I will more than happily stop, because I don't actually want to make you, a person, uncomfortable. I'm going to make your characters unhappy. Or possibly dead. One of the two.
First one, then the other.
Yeah.
That word could be pineapple.
My priorities, you know, whatever. I won't be pushing that. Alright, my other general house rule is I don't generally allow PvP. You know, player versus player, unless it's by mutual agreement. Like you both are happy and state that you are happy to have a bitch slapping contest which will result in one of your deaths. I generally don't allow that because like the inter-conflict thing can just sometimes be a pain in the dick and just so annoying. So unless you guys are like, yep, we're all cool with this, I'm like, alright, we generally house rules, we don't do that. It doesn't mean that if you that doesn't mean that if you lob a grenade near your mate he's not gonna die. But you get what I mean. So,
yeah, you can always shove people into stuff too, so they break their noses. And...
yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. Or taking the safety of each other's guns. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with that. All right. Okay. Right. So, as I originally stated when I was like throwing out ideas, this one's going to be a lot more RP heavy. And a lot more character driven than some of the other campaigns that we've been in. So if there's something, for example, like between two characters and they want to chat with each other, or you want to go and explore something with other characters or talk about stuff, you will have time to do that. There is no time pressure, there's no rush. This isn't like a one shot where we have to go, shit, we generally have to be done in 3.5 hours. We have all the time in the world. So if it ends up being that the four of you spend the 3 hours we have talking to each other and not moving because you're exploring character stuff, then we'll do it. This is good for two reasons. One, it's good role playing and your characters interact and become better friends and more bonded, and you guys come up with stories that I can't think of. And two, it means I don't have to prep for another week. So I'm more than happy for you guys to do that stuff, so don't feel pressured like, oh, we have to do this for time, yada yada yada. I'm more interested in having a good game with you guys than anything else. So Don't feel there's any rush to do that. And in that respect, please respect the roleplay and the narrative. So if it looks like someone's having a moment, try not to do our usual pokey jabby thing at it whilst they're trying to do their moment. So just respect each other and the narrative so far as that's concerned. So that's kind of where I'm going to be pushing. This is very character driven. So this campaign will definitely be unique in respect of I could write this up as a module later on, but it will be nowhere near the same. So because each character is obviously different. The only other thing I do have to say is that romance may or may not come up. If and when it does, we will be fading to black. I'm not going to be dicking about with this. I don't have the ability to go through this crap with you because you guys will just make me laugh and it won't be taken anywhere near seriously. I can't do it. So yeah, we'll have a general fade to black policy when things get a bit steamy. So just throwing that one out there. And finally, on all that kind of background socially type thing, character death is real in this system. When your character kicks the bucket, you are dead. There is no revive mechanism. There is no like Hail Mary pass of shoving you in like an auto healing dock or something. There's none of that here. When your character dies, you are dead. Death is real. If you do something like break your leg is broken. You will need to deal with those consequences. If you end up contracting some weird disease, you will be dealing with the side effects of those. It's kind of gritty in that respect. So as a heads up, if you die, don't think you're coming back. Death hurts. All right. Okay, I think that's probably all of the kind of socially contracty bullshitty things that we have to go through. Does anyone have anything else that they want to bring up? Anything else anyone wants to ask in that respect?
What do you do if you die early?
If you die early?
You just, that's it, you're gone. Watch from the sidelines and cry.
If you die early, yes, essentially for that session. If you die like in minute 1, I've probably done a shitty job as a GM, or you guys have been really bad. Like
I'm
really
going to
bad.
investigate the grenade.
Yeah, I think that person should get an award or something.
A Darwin Award.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I will make a special little PNG for that then. Make Darwin Award for insta death. Yeah. So essentially, when you die, because this is going to be really character driven, it'll be kind of difficult, I think, to make another character and then slot them straight into the story by the time we end our 3-hour session. That could be a little difficult, don't get me wrong. So I think we'll jump across that bridge when we come to it. Just don't put yourselves in a situation where you're going to die in minute 1, because you will have 3 hours of boredom. But I would heavily encourage that if you do die fairly early, start considering a backup character. Start like going through how to make a new character and all that good jazz, and start making one, because it would save you a lot of time later on and a lot of me bugging you during a week of, dude, I need to know your character, dude, I need to know your character, dude, what the fuck is your character doing? Yeah, so it would save you a lot of aggro from me, if you think about that sort of stuff. Don't plan on dying.
Yeah.
Because you are essentially the only way to protect your character. There aren't death saving throws, there aren't revivify or anything like that. There's none of that good jazz in this, so it's when you're dead, you're dead, so you are the only way to protect your character. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a good question.
Yes. So will it be the case of like, next week we'll go over a hill and see someone we think we might quite like? Like, hey, I know that guy, he should come with us.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the characters that you guys decide to run with, yeah, I mean, there's always an option for you people to know people on the outside, and that could be how you get in. But it's going to be entirely up to you guys to initiate the new character, make them feel eventually at least welcome and part of the group. So, death is a shake-up. Death is one of those things that I could in games that I could talk about for absolutely ages. And
we have.
And I have, yeah. Death of characters in games is interesting because you need to feel that there is a genuine threat. But if you're playing something that's character heavy and story heavy, killing a character off can often end potential plot lines, potential opportunities, because it's literally a dead stop. So there's not much you can do much further after that. However, sometimes you need it to push some of the characters forward. So again, if you guys decide to jump off that bridge, we will be taking falling damage. So just just be careful. Alright. Okay, any other questions like that? Because I will happily field them. Thirsty, you've done this like 3 times. It's your 3rd time now. You shouldn't have any questions.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a good one.
Oh, okay.
Like, what's something someone else would ask that none of us will? Because, damn it, we're just shit hot.
Yeah,
I don't think we're that good.
Hot.
Okay, then, come up with a crap answer.
A crap answer for what question?
Exactly!
Okay. Let's roll down on that one. All right. Okay. So if you guys do think of any questions, just shout them at me, and I'll try and answer them somehow. All right. So the campaign that we are going to be running, or we'll be experiencing, I'm going to start off with describing what kind of the world in general is like, the setting in general, and then I'll be breaking it down to actually the nitty-gritty of the first arc and how I think you guys are how I would like to offer something, and then we'll change it as we go along. The world itself is nuked. It's a post-apocalyptic, post-nuclear apocalyptic world. It's set within the south of England. We find ourselves about 100 years after the nuclear apocalypse has gone off. The days of the bombs dropping is called Days of Destruction, and that will probably come up a lot. And the resultant landscaping is called the Desolation. The Desolation is pretty hot, pretty sandy. During the day it's pretty warm, bloody hot. And it is also frigidly cold at night. It's that kind of like, holy crap, yeah, you're going to need like 2 or 3 different duvets to get through this night. It's kind of pretty cold. Fallout radiation is a real risk factor you guys will probably need to juggle and deal with. There are mutant creatures that could easily rip you apart, and humanity is down to the last dregs. Humanity, those that survived, mostly took shelter. All the others are kind of results of being left out in the radiation after the bombs dropped. There are rotters, which are remnants of humanity. They got left out in the radiation, which is, I know one of you is going to be playing. Bodies are rotten, minds trapped within frail bodies. Some of them become insane and revert to basic instincts of feral creatures, essentially grouping up and attacking everything and anything that moves. Others have the willpower to carry on, and they're contained in the knowledge of life before the days of destruction. So they're pretty much, as stated before, like a walking Google search within a horrible, fleshy, mutated kind of body. The other kind of major race that wanders around in the Desolation is the post-gens, which again I know at least one person will be playing. These post-gens, post-human genomic experiments, are great hulking humans who are the result of experiments of army super soldiers. They just don't have a war to fight. That's the problem. They are big, freakishly strong, not always the sharpest tools in the shed, and quite often have a handler, someone that they are very close to and will turn to get orders, essentially. It's not always the case, but generally is. So they're kind of the two other major races other than humanity. The general setting outside is kind of barren earth, burnt trees, that kind of good jazz. Sort of Mad Max mixed with remnants of technology, that kind of thing, into a Western style legal system. So each place will have its own set of laws, each place will have its own ways of dealing with criminals. You guys will probably have to be very careful treading around. Scavenging is a very common means of living. Hunting down your enemies is an acceptable pastime, and skirting getting shot is an exceptionally important skill, as is not getting yourself exposed to too much radiation. On the whole, however, humanity took refuge in great underground shelters called dwellings, and they were owned by Dwell Inc. You are going to be starting within a place called England South Central, often referred to as ESC, Escape. And this is this on the map is very close to Ghostport, where you guys went last time, in a place that we currently call Portsmouth, or just outside there. This is what I'm calling our tutorial zone. is everything that's going to happen inside that dwelling. My tutorial zones tend to be, this is you getting used to the system, getting used to each other, and I will kind of have a little bit of kid gloves. Not a lot, but I have a little bit. After that, I will take them off and happily beat you to death with them. So, just as a heads up, that tends to be how that is. Does anyone have any questions about the world itself? And yes, I'll even field questions from Thirsty, because not everything is going to be as you know it. Excellent. I've had a drink, so I'm going to take that as a no then. I'll keep talking. I will make this document available to you guys as well, so you don't have to write vicious amount of notes. What if they were created to fight the Great Water War? Oh, God. Questions from chat. They don't have a war... questions chat. They don't just have a water fight or a war 2 fight. A war 2 fight, not a water fight. No. Don't get me wrong, there is a chance for nautical nonsense, because in this world there does exist sea gypsies, salt gypsies. And the salt gypsies essentially live on boats, and that's how they manage to escape most of the radiation and fallout. The salt gypsies will periodically raid the land. So there is a chance when you go to the various port towns that are around that you could in fact get on a boat and screw everything and become a nautical nonsense journey. So it's an option. It's an
If
option.
nautical nonsense be something you wish.
Okay, that's yeah.
Aw,
Nautical
my
nonsense be something you wish. Yeah.
SpongeBob Ghoul Pants.
Yes, you could become a ship of Vikings if you want, Skag. I mean, sure.
Rat Vikings!
Oh God. Yes, there is a chance. There technically is a chance for Waterworld. Yeah. I kind of vaguely know what the Salt Gypsies' home place looks like, and it kind of is a little bit like that. Just let's not have him jumping in water, because that's just no. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go on to the tutorial zone, which is essentially where we're starting. So although we have this wonderful, beautiful radiation world outside, this is not actually where we're going to be starting. We are going to be starting in the England South Central Dwell Inc. dwelling. Humanity generally takes shelter in those, and that's how they manage to survive. Your particular dwelling, where you guys are going to be starting, is located within a small cave complex. It's been 100 years since, give or take, since the days of destruction, since all the bombs dropped. And in that time, ESC has contemplated opening its doors to the outside world. But this debate essentially split the dwelling in half. Some of them wanted to open the doors and explore the waste, explore the desolation. Some of them wanted to keep themselves contained. But they came up with a kind of compromise. It was bloody, the little fight to get to this point, but they did come up with a compromise. As a compromise, the cave system itself has been opened to the surface. The dwelling itself, it has not. So there is a wonderful little cave system. It's quite large. People can essentially build little huts and houses and stuff in it, and as such, there is. There's a small little village outside the dwelling. And only the residents can actually access the dwelling. There are some exceptions, because I know that at least 2 of you are playing races that aren't human. So there are some exceptions to this. As far as ESC is concerned, it's the dwelling above everything else. If you don't have that mentality, you cannot be let into the cave system, and you will definitely be expelled from the dwelling itself. This you might want to bear in mind, because it could play into how things in this world react to you, or at least things within the ESC react to you. I would prefer, I've got Rini, I'd prefer y'all to be humans and start together in the dwelling. But I know at least 2 of you aren't humans, so sure, we'll go from there and we'll see what happens. It's not a biggie. I have means around it. Essentially, we'll be starting off with how this dwelling is functioning, how this thing is, how the dwelling is essentially falling apart, and all the internal struggles within that. So it will be a case of you guys hanging around there, dealing with that, and then taking a mission possibly to leave. that's kind of where I'm thinking this first arc will go. I have a lot of little things planned that will eventually lead to a slightly larger story within the first arc, but that's kind of where we're kicking off from. Is there anything you guys would like to know about the dwelling?
How many people are inside?
There are roughly 200. There are about 200, between 200 and 250 people within. The dwelling itself is comprised almost exclusively of humans. All of them would have been born here in the dwelling. Everyone within the dwelling would have specific jobs, specific roles to fill. So there's quite a lot of you down here. In the little cave system outside, there's probably somewhere between 20 and 40 people.
Okay, and how do the other people get in?
How do the other people get in? The people that are living in the cave area?
So you've got 200 to 250 humans, possibly. So if it was a human dwelling, how do the other people get in? Or not people?
No, they're people. They're people. They're people. Yeah, you're people.
People.
They're people. Essentially, when ESC itself decided to crack open its doors and have like the half in, half out policy, a lot of those people went out and began to explore the desolation. And when they went out, they met various other people, like the other humans. They met a bunch of like essentially rotters and a couple of post-gens. And those people that they became friendly with and that they began to trust, they brought back into the cave system and were like, hey guys, check this out. And then that's essentially how that little town sprung up. You essentially have to be invited into the cave system. So people wandering in generally aren't tolerated. They tend to get shot.
Is there anyone outside the cave system camping nearby? To become trusted so they can go into the cave system or trade?
No. I mean,
I
there are little places nearby, but they're not specifically camping out to earn trust. It's just a case of when people come from the cave system, from the dwelling itself, and meet other people out and around, they'll give them specific, like, you can come in and say this to this person, and they'll let you in, and you can learn how to be a part of them. No, there isn't, like, any, like, outer camp to the outer camp. But there are little villages, little towns nearby where people are and do trade with ESC.
Riveting viewing. Right.
Do
the dwellers have like any prevailing attitudes to the beings outside?
Those who have never left the dwelling are pretty suspicious of outsiders. They didn't want to open the dwelling in the first place, a lot of them. So there's still that air of mistrust about people on the outside. I'm not saying it's not like out and out hatred, but it is a big distrust, which is why, you know, certain people will go out and do the trading with outsiders rather than having everyone do it.
Would that be like generally the older people or something? You know, the older ones who had like their parents go like, "Don't go outside, it's terrible," and the younger ones like, "I wonder what's outside." Yeah.
We'll go predominantly the older population.
Yeah, the scary stories seemed less scary a second generation down.
Yeah.
Sorry. Maybe third.
I would say it's probably predominantly the older population, which are distrustful of outsiders.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
So.
All right. If unless there are any other, yes, I will. Yeah. I said it's canon. No, it's not canon. I will take questions from anywhere, including chat, if you guys have any. So I'm more than happy to do that. Okay. I've sent you guys a folder with a big bunch of information in it. You can read it, not read it. It's entirely up to you. But it would be very helpful if you want to do things like, you know, create a character, which is what we're going to move on to now. I know that at least two of you deserve the gold star of, hey, you did a thing. So why don't we start with you guys and those backgrounds first, and that should give the other two some time to think of a concept. We're not going to be building the characters on stream today, because it's not exactly a lengthy process, but having to do that one at a time will be kind of a pain. So we're going to do that off cams as and when everyone has the time to do it. But we're going to build the ideas of your characters and the kind of backgrounds and their relationships. We're probably going to build all that on stream today. All right, so let's start with Thirsty, who has had this character for well over a month now. In fact, it may have been far longer than that. So we'll start with you because I know you're dying to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, I have made a glorious young rotting gentleman called Brother Rupert Rees, who basically before the war he was a monk. And he became a monk after receiving a sort of a call to worship from God, or whatever. And at the time, he was actually studying ethics and religious thinking and philosophy. So he's a very clever sort of chap, but not necessarily in any practical sense. And he was well on his way to becoming a bit of an authority in these things. Unfortunately, when the bombs fell, he kind of had a crisis of faith, and he robbed a church and fled. He jumped in his car and fled, and then confronted with a group of people trying to flee, he swerved off the road and crashed his car. And when the blast wave hit, he was burned horribly.
Eep.
Yeah, and then obviously he blacks out and wakes up sometime later as a rotter. Basically. And during all of that horrible nuclear firestorm, a crucifix got melted to his left hand. You can't drop it.
Lovely.
Yeah. And he's basically convinced that he's chosen for something. He's been preserved by God for some sort of purpose, and he has no idea what the hell it could be. So he's just sort of wandering around trying to find some great thing to do.
Okay, that could be an interesting little point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just going to be fun.
Yeah. He's also slowly starting to think that rotters are quite important. Because obviously if you've been saved from nuclear destruction by God himself, you can't just be a throwaway person.
Confused fanatic.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that rotters exist in like a perpetual stage of first stage dementia. So he's lucid, but sometimes a little confused as to how much is what he believes and how much is what is true and how much is what he's actually seen. So he might think he's had visions, or perhaps have heard a voice through all the pain and burning, or think his scars are saying something.
Cool. Slightly out of it. Perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
And,
so,
yeah.
for the idiot who's writing some notes, what was your character name?
It's Brother Rupert Rees, PhD.
Oh my god, I'm calling you Rupert.
Yeah. He's Brother Rupert, but yeah.
Whatever. He's going to be in my notes as Rupert. I'm not going to type Brother Rupert every time. That'll take twice as long to get through anything. Okay. Cool. So that's the gist of your guy. Spanners, I know that you have also written a very cool backstory.
Yes, I have. Well, I say cool. I've written a backstory.
It's cool.
So
It is cool.
I've kind of... Well, I read this. Let's be honest, I've stolen bits of his story and blamed him for being a rotter. So I'm going to play Lady Philippa Ashingworth, also known as Pip, who is a post-gen. So I'm really sorry. I'm reading from my notes here because I definitely didn't just write these. So she was the favourite daughter of the philanthropist Lord Archibald of Billingworth. So Pip was born a small, sickly child who confused and troubled her doctors with strange and painful symptoms of the child. She was schooled at the prestigious Huntington Point College near Lewes, And she grew up at boarding school away from her parents, and she turned to religion as a way to deal with the loneliness and the pain. You feel sad for her yet? You feel sad. So she befriended the monks, and she spent hours studying the text that they gave her, which they don't believe anymore. When the bombs began to drop, she fled from the army generals who were gathering the young ones for their genetically enhanced army. And she ran to her church, but she found it ransacked and empty. And she didn't understand what kind of person could steal from the church and leave her to die. And her heart broke, and she loudly denounced all faith as unholy lies. And she gave herself over to the general and his genetic experiments. So as the genetic modification drugs began to course through her, Pip felt her once twisted limbs regenerate, and her wasted muscles started to grow as she became a genetically modified soldier. But what the scientists hadn't discovered or considered was that the mutations already in her DNA had caused her young body to stretch and break without warning, and she was already pretty bendy. So this mutation, it remained. I've lost my place.
Sorry.
I was doing so well. So the mutation remained, along with the significant pain that she had as a child, making Pip an exceptionally effective soldier. She had the ability to bend into the most unusual shapes, including the ability to look behind her like an owl. I would actually demonstrate I can.
That's so cool.
But the pain that remained was as vicious as it was before the drugs. It causes incredible fits of rage. But the generals at that time harnessed it as a weapon. But now she's been left to her own devices, and she's been mentally changed by both the drugs and her experiences as a soldier. And Pip can recall pieces of her previous life, but she retains a really small smidgen of the intellect in the few moments of clarity that she does have in between just being massively violent. So she has lots of feelings of abandonment, and those are stronger now because she longs for the safety of her parents. But it's really hard to curl up on your parents' lap if you're a 7-foot post-gen. That's me.
You basically want nothing more than a hug. Oh, that's so sad.
And it's all my fault.
Oh
Yes,
my
and it's
God.
all your fault.
That is so beautiful.
But she doesn't know. She has no idea who it was that drove her to become a post.
I'm not entirely sure that we would ever find out, but that's so beautiful.
We should visit that church.
Yeah,
We
stumble
should do
across the church.
field study.
Yeah.
So
Or have her recognise the crucifix.
yeah. It just puts there, just like you go there to touch the thing, and you see the crucifix in the right place. You're like, you bastard.
Or it just sends her into fits of rage.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah. Oh man, but you have managed to expand some very cool lore already. I'm very happy with that. Okay, that's pretty rad. Good job, guys.
More than me and Skagger have done.
Yeah, 10 points to Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Ravenclaw for life.
He would so not be in Gryffindor.
No.
Ravenclaw for life.
That guy there is not a Gryffindor.
No, he'll be a Raven.
Yeah, Raven to the core, baby. All right. Okay. Having listened to those wonderful tales of the outside world, Terracon, Skag, have either of you got any idea on what kind of character you want to play, what kind of background you want to have?
Yeah, I have mine done already. So
What? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Go for it.
it's improv. You have to kind of adapt.
All right then,
That's
hit me. What have you got, man?
I have this picture, and
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
So
I'm not sure how to make that appear on my screen. Carry on. You talk and I'll fiddle. Carry on.
The idea is basically a person who has been either working very heavily on the border, the war, any sort of military background. That's a good one.
I'm so good at this. My bad. Carry on. Sorry.
You can import picture right straight on. You don't need to.
I barely know how this stuff functions, let alone to make it work properly.
Yeah.
That's the picture that Skag sent.
So he has been seeing the worst in the most of people, and he is probably one of those that tries to get something done. And after some incidents, some action, some of the group that he were working with had a dispute, and they chose to go separate ways. For the last couple of years, he's been more known to be a hunter or gatherer for specific items. So if someone is really searching for this sort of generator for the whatever it could be, he would be scavenging, running away, and taking hefty price tag on it, but he will probably do it. And he is more fine-tuned with weaponry and surviving. And he has just the call name of John, as that's the most simplest name he would kind of put on himself. No attachment to his past, and that'll be better than any other kind of call name. So
right. So he's named himself John.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have. That's really cool. Named himself John. So he'll have no attachment to his past. Alright, that's cool. Which means that there clearly is something major in his past.
Yeah.
We will definitely work on that, man, because that sounds awesome. So the question is whether it's something he's ashamed of, or if there's something that he just doesn't want to deal with. It's too hard for him to deal with. It broke his spirit.
Why does it need to be so bad? Can it be like he just missed his prom night or something?
He got bored. He had a shitty name.
He realized that he didn't turn in his lotto ticket, or he didn't pay the petrol or something. He become like, I can't associate with.
He accidentally dined and dashed one day, and now he's on the run.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had a first name that rhymed with his second name.
Yeah.
Just like, no, none of this.
He had a really bad name, Gilbert Sunshine or something. We're like, no more Gilbert Sunshine. God damn it.
It's Gilbert Raintree, like Pussy Willow Sunshine. No! I refuse! John. I should be known as John.
I'm sorry.
Scourge of the Wastes.
It's now down as Gilbert Sunshine. That's your real name. You said it, therefore it is canon, dude. It's amazing.
I said a lot of names before that too.
Yep, but this is the one that stuck with me, so that's the one that gets.
I better pick another name then.
We'll definitely work. This hasn't happened again, has it, Tara?
I picked Gilbert before anything has said. Obviously, I'm not allowed it, so.
Oh.
This is a literal return to form. We've had this before, where he picked a name, and we changed our names because we ended up having same names. Like, okay, fine, I won't be Steve then. You were someone else. And it's like, fine, I won't be that as well then. We're like, oh, for God's sake, the fact you chose a name, let's just roll with that one. Right.
We are twins again. We're twins.
If you want to be
Gilbert.
It's Gilbert and Filbert. God.
Okay. If you want to be, it can work. I mean,
Well, I was actually thinking about being someone was inside the dwelling.
okay, cool, even better. I mean, to be fair, there's no reason why you still couldn't have been twins someone inside the dwelling, but sure. All right, okay. Cool. We will definitely
Hey,
work on
maybe
that
it's something
skag.
we don't know and you do.
Yeah, I have some very cool ideas on that skag, so we will definitely be chatting about that. To be fair, we'll probably develop a little bit more as we go through and finish building this out with you guys anyway, so. Alright, okay. Is there anything else we need to know about John, not Gilbert?
Yeah, that it's just John.
It's just John.
John, the Scourge of the Waste.
Okay. Alright, that's my passing point. Alright, okay. Alright, let's move on to you then, Terracon.
I have a name. That's about it.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You
Yeah,
have to scrap it.
No, it's Camren.
Camren. Ooh, cool.
Camren Elcom.
Elcom.
Ellcome.
Cool. Alright, hit us up, dude. I assume you're human.
Yes, I'm human.
It's a big assumption, but cool. Alright, what do we need to know?
What do we need to know about what?
Well, anything about your character, dude. Anything about Cameron. I mean...
I was thinking I was going to be like the son of the overseer, kind of bit kind of strut around the dwelling, but still want to see what's out there as well. Defy the father's kind of wishes to not go out there at all.
Dad, I don't want to clean my room. I'm going outside.
Pretty much.
Clean your room, son. I'm going to go outside and get some radioactive shit. I'm going to throw it all over the place.
Throw it on your face.
Cool. So, like, if your father, like, especially doesn't want anyone to go outside, he'd especially not want you to go out.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Cool. You're being an only child. Good job.
Teen rebel.
Nothing wrong with elder children.
Exactly. Alright. So, essentially, yours may be a story of escape, man.
Yep. Maybe I can get some people to help me.
I wonder who'd do that.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What else do we need to know about this this young teenage rebel? Is he a teenage rebel? Or is he a slightly older rebel?
I'd say he's probably late teens, 19 maybe.
Alright. 18, 19-year-old rebel. Okay, cool.
He's a young'un.
He's just a boy. Okay.
From a poor family.
I can't deal with a repeat of yesterday. Please stop. Okay.
That's as far as my thought has gone.
Okay, do you know what kind of person he is? Like, let's jump into like the other nitty gritty character questions that I have on here. What kind of person is he? Like, yeah, is he a wild adventurous type?
Up.
Is he young and naive? He's a prick. Stuck up, fuck up. Okay,
I am not fuck up. I'm stuck up.
that's alright. I've got both written down.
Cheers.
You're welcome.
And I am going to be running with that perk, so I'm going to be quite sexy.
You are running with the sexy perk.
Have to have one in the group.
You have. You can have a team full of sexy. I just don't think your campaign will go very well. You'll just be like
Perfect,
kidnapped,
Sexy post-gen.
taken, Oh, you can sexy whatever you want. I don't give a fuck.
Sex poster.
A filthy, sexy
I'm going with the
rata.
M&S voice.
Hey, it's happened. There was a hooker.
Yeah, let's not go into that, shall we? Okay.
I didn't.
You didn't. Oh, okay. Everyone gets one. That was your one. All right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you just okay. All right. There's some sort of stuck up, which means it's gonna be interesting when we break you down.
Yep.
It'll be fun. I like it. I like it already. Okay.
I'm kind of thinking one of them kind of, the boys that have kind of got everything for them. If he wanted it, it's given to him, kind of guys.
Trust fund baby.
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be fun to play with. Alright, I like it. Alright, okay, so... Being that you guys know what you know about this particular dwelling, this particular setup, how do you all know each other? Oh, a thing has happened.
Ooh.
Yay! Thank you for the host. / raid. Thank you. Yeah, so how do you guys know each other? What are you doing in this? The only requirement I really have is that you guys need to start either in the cave or in the dwelling, since most of you, I believe, are outsiders, unless John came from the dwelling.
No, not that shithole. No, never.
It's not a
Yes,
shit.
it is.
Well, to be fair, that would be a good reason for you to dislike it so much.
Yeah, it's a shithole. I told you, it's a shithole.
No, that you came from it because you think it's a shithole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you left because you think it's a shithole.
Yeah, we could do
Your
that.
military background could be fighting to leave. in like the uprising to open the dwelling.
I could come from the dwelling and occasionally go back and take on easier tasks to be like giving back a little bit.
Okay.
Or certainly to lead people out.
Yeah.
You could just be like, with me, brothers!
The human soldier. What was he fighting?
I don't know. That is
Well, everything. So there are lots of gangs that roam this kind of Mad Max-style place. So there are lots of gangs out to basically take whatever the fuck they want and kill anyone they want because they're bored. You actually met some of those guys, the guys with a lot of metal in their face, the pans. There are particular places out there which are pretty dangerous, and it's filled with various different irradiated creatures that are bloody horrible. There are towns and places that have internal conflicts and internal wars. There's a place up on a hill which is just full of assholes. Yeah. That's I'll stick with that. It's just full of assholes, and now I remember it. I remember why and who this was based off of. Yeah, so there's this town basically filled with assholes who will basically go and do like protection-y type rackets on lots of people. Yeah, there's lots of things out there that you can fight. There is also the actual post-gen army, the one that's Pip would have had to have left or run away from. The post-gen army still believes that there is a war and they're still trying to fight everything and anything and basically increase the glory of the British Empire. So you could definitely stand back and fight some of those. There are lots of feral ghouls that run around as packs as well that need to be taken down, and there's also a faction called the New Era Welsh Order, NUO, and they are essentially slavers.
Okay, I'm just wondering how John is sort of feeling about post-gens, especially as he's possibly like being teamed up with a 16-year-old girl who could kick his ass.
No, I don't think if anyone can bring their weight to the table, I don't think that John would mind at all.
Okay.
As
Also,
long as
like
it-
if you're from like before the bombs, you're 116.
Yeah,
So you know,
useful.
yeah, youthful, bloody young'uns. Rupert's 137.
Oh, that would make you an original. That would make you a first gen, post gen. Ooh,
First gen, post gen.
yeah.
Mm.
Ooh.
There's a background for that somewhere, wasn't there?
I don't think there is. It's
Originally.
second or third.
Oh, I
First
thought there was
gen,
an original one.
first gen. If not, I will look it up and we'll make something up. Either way, we have the power. So what were you saying, Skag, before you were rudely interrupted by someone?
I don't know. People just interrupt, and I feel uncomfortable, and I want to file a complaint.
Okay.
I want to be shown to someone. I can file a complaint, please.
You can file a complaint with me. What's your complaint?
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Okay. There's a very simple way of doing that. If you look through our many hours of Discord chat history, I believe you said, "Yes, Volley, I will do this thing for you. Yes, 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 I will be here. Yes, yes, yes."
Spaz is holding a book full of things.
Post-it notes.
No, as I said, I think that John would happily been teaming up with people who could just bring the weight to whatever kind of mission or whatever that is needed at the time.
Okay. So could the three of us be kind of hiding out in the caves, perhaps, and then meet Camren and kind of lead him astray?
That sounds like a viable option, especially if John came from here originally. I mean, if you turn back up with like these two miscreants, then there's probably not a lot that anyone would be able to say anything about it, because you would have certain rights being born here. Like, these are my friends, they are coming in, fuck you. You know, that definitely exists as a possibility.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, maybe Camren has a plan to pay off to get away too.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. If we have like essentially the beginning of like, you know, you three coming back, or essentially John coming back to the dwelling, it means we can like see the cave as we walk in, which would be pretty cool. And then we can go in and meet Camren, and Cameron's like, I need to leave. My daddy doesn't want me to leave. I have money.
Yeah, we don't really care, but yeah, I have money. I love some money.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good start, actually. I like it. So we have Pip.
So we can Han Solo and Chewie this shit. He sits there and be like, yeah, we can get you out if you got the money.
The question is, I was like, that's a really good way for Pip and John to come in, but oh my god, Rupert, would you be with them, or would you have been at the cave for a long time? How?
Originally I was going to say I'm just like going to be a priest somewhere where they let me be. You know, whether that's in the cave or, you know, even possibly like been there long enough to be allowed into the dwelling. But yeah, essentially he's just a ranting priest. So
that could
wherever the people are in need of religion.
Actually, that could work out really well, actually, because if Camren is looking for a way out, there's a degree of probably being interested in what it's like outside, and this is literally a rotter who is walking around nearby you, spouting things about the old world and how he has seen things on the outside. So maybe he could actually have been a really good friend, like in your time growing up. Maybe not the religiousy part, that's entirely up to you, but at least all the other things that he knows. So that's
it could be a fairly it would make sense if you have this rotter priest, you know, basically sitting out in the caves, keeping everyone calm.
Yeah.
Or at least keeping them inspired. You know, whichever way you want to do it. You either have a firebrand making sure everyone works hard for the dwelling, or, you know, an airy fairy daydreaming nutter making sure everyone stays quiet. This place has a burning need for religion.
Okay.
And at that point, you'll get kicked out.
Nah. They're used to me. I've been here for years. They're just like, all right, Rupert, chill out.
But still, Daddy says that religion's not real. Yes, I'm going to be that kind of guy.
Okay.
Daddy says.
Daddy's going to kick your ass one of these days.
How about Daddy thinks what I tell him to think? I tell him what I tell him to think?
I mean, at the moment, I'm debating. Like, I had an idea for the character of him, but now he has a kid, and that really screws things up. But that's fine. We got this. Now I'm just trying to debating whether I want to make him like the nicest, sweetest, most understanding parent, and you're just a dick child, or whether actually to make him a dick. I'm not really sure right now.
No, make him a nice guy. I'm a dick. It's
Okay.
easy to play that for me anyway.
It won't be much of a stretch. We can all be horrendous people. It'll be great fun.
Okay. This is going to be cool. I've got this. I've got this. All right. Okay, that's a really good way for this to start, actually. Okay. Right. Important question for Spanners / Pip, really. So most post-gens, when they're experimented on, when they were coming into like their full post-geniness, they would have undergone a degree of as they come to their powers, they end up, or coming to their own, they end up bonding with somebody to a degree where they see them as their leader. It was a side effect, but one that the army would have used to make it so that their soldiers were unquestionably loyal to their commander. So essentially, if they gave them an order, they would see it through to the end. Do you, being that you're a first gen, that thing kind of does exist, but I'm going to leave it up to you as to whether you actually want it to still be a thing. Because there is a slight mechanical bonus that I can give you if you want to do that. But it is something that you'll have to remember when you're role-playing.
Yeah, I think probably initially I think she didn't actually bond with anyone but had the need to bond, so has like massive daddy issues. Sorry.
No. Daddy issues is apparently a thing here. Carry on.
So like she is constantly looking for that figure, but potentially hasn't found it yet.
Okay. In that case, I will write a little summit for you. So whenever you hit that point when you think, oh, this is the person that she would consider her like the daddy figure or her commander or whatever, whenever you hit that point, I will give you a something for it.
Okay, I mean, clearly Camren, it could be. It could be.
We have seen stranger pairings out there. There have been, like, there is a place that exists in this world which is solely inhabited by post-gens and their bonded friends. There's everything from twin brother post-gens who have bonded to each other. There's a post-gen which is the stupidest, dumbest person that we've ever met, bonded with a child who's about 8 years old, and she has been hit on the head with a rock and equally as dumb and stupid, but it's a cute little pairing which in canon may or may not exist anymore. There's like the whole really close friends thing. There are kind of like the lovers, the kind of like the parenty type things. You generally, it's like in that place you don't ask the nature of the bonding, it just is. So it's just something
it could
out
be.
there.
It's reasonably obvious to sort of pair with John, but it could be really, really messed up if you paired with Rupert.
Yes, it could be. Could be. We've seen, like, in canon, there's only been one breaking of a bond, and that didn't go well for either of them. So it's an interesting thing we can explore. Yeah. I like it.
It could play out.
As soon as when you make the decision about when you want that to be or who you want to be, it doesn't necessarily have to be with these guys. It makes it more awkward on my end if it's not one of these guys, because then I have to play an NPC all the fucking time. But yeah, just let me know when you think that moment will be, or when you've decided that moment is, and then you and I will go through the mechanics and how that works.
Okay.
Cool.
That would be an awesome, like, captain my captain synergy.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Oh, that's going in the notes.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Bamf. Okay. That's that in, and that's done. Okie dokie. All right. Has everyone seen, read, or have access to the character generation ebook guide thing? Does anyone have anyone who has read it, does anyone have any perks or traits they know they want to take, like sexy or bloody mess, or they want to have afraid or big and dumb or anything stupid along those lines? I already know that you want sexy. Fine.
Well, yeah, I was having one-hander.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay. That's not so much of a problem. The sexy perk, my usual rules apply. You will be the target of a lot of things, and not all of the advances will be welcome or wanted.
I know.
But since y'all said that there are no limits, I will possibly make you rue that day. Okay.
Or I could make you rue it.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Challenge accepted, but I highly doubt it.
I think I probably ought to have big and dumb.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's the thing. First gens
Aren't necessarily
aren't
dumb.
as big and dumb. The later generations get dumber as they get
Bigger.
as they go on. Yeah.
7 foot. I love it.
Yeah.
16. Yeah.
Yes. For a post gen, that's not too big.
Alright, cool. Okay. I was just asking that in case any of you just knew off the top of your head. Is anyone taking bloody mess? Good. Okay, good. Because the descriptions of death tend to be quite brutal anyway. Okay. Alright. That become... Right, I had a question. Is like, what cool things have you done as a group? That's irrelevant. You've done cool things as a group yet. Okay. Who are you? We've done that. Who are you in that? You've done that. Alright, okay. I think some of these may be fairly self-evident, 'cause I think you all did it, which is your driving motivation. So we have the monk who thinks he needs to have a purpose. Pip is looking for a bond. Camren is looking to get out. What's John looking for in life? What's his driving motivation?
I don't know. Purpose, maybe.
Okay, I have an idea. Or two. Yeah, stop writing. Okay, okie dokie. That doesn't really apply because I don't really have much in the way of secrets. Right. Oh yeah, as one of the other heads up, if you have any secrets as characters that you want to keep from the other players, cool. This is the only time you're going to have them, because I don't really do headset off unless it's really crucial. So if you learn something as a player that your character wouldn't know, I trust you guys enough to keep those separate, but I won't be asking you to take your headset off the time, because it drives me up the walls as a player, so I won't be asking you to do it unless it's really, really cool or really, really important, one of those two. So have secrets by all means, but I won't be working actively to keep them secret. I will just be working to play the story out. Just as a heads up, I had that as a little note here. Okay. What do you guys want from the characters? What do you want to explore with them? What kind of things do you want to try doing? Like, do you want to try being an asshole for a change? Do you want to do you want to try like building a relationship with another character? You know, that kind of stuff. Is there anything that you guys in particular want to do with your characters? We'll start with Thirsty, because you've done this like 3 times with me already.
Yeah. I'm actually a little bit torn on this one, because I'm interested in... I either want to play a character who actually has faith, because I personally am not that guy, or I want to play someone who's pretending to have faith. You know, someone who everyone thinks is a faithful priest, who kind of, you know, has lost faith over the 100 years he spent wandering around doing nothing. I'm not really sure on that one.
I know which one I think would be more interesting, because they lead into each other. I think it'd be more interesting to play someone who is pretending to have a lot of faith, because that can lend itself to rediscovering your faith, and that can be a big character moment.
Essentially, it's his lifeline then.
Yeah.
He's pretending to be a fervent fanatic because he wants to be one.
Yeah. Yeah, give or take, or it's the easiest thing is like, they'll let me be here because I'm giving them coolness and guidance and all that good crap, and it's a pretty pretty tasty kind of meal here. And then after a while, something can or may not happen, which can lead it becomes an open avenue if that's the faith. Alternatively,
it's one of those
flip
things.
side,
It's like I like the idea of playing someone faithful because I'm not.
Yeah.
But I do see myself having problems doing it because I don't.
Yeah. Only because it's an interesting idea either way, but and on the flip side, if you play someone with faith, there could be a huge moment of losing that faith in this. So it's you don't have to change either. I mean, it could be a case you could want to do this entire thing just being a dick about it. I mean, it's entirely up to you, but it leads either one can lead for a potential idea. But I know you. I think that the pretending to have faith would be easier to start out with, and then it could more easily develop from there into actually finding it. That's what I would recommend, knowing you.
Yeah, I think he's going to start off being at the very least being quite flamey, quite fiery. If only because he has an audience.
Yeah.
Having doubts in his quiet times, but in front of people, knowing what he wants to portray. Because it's easy to be fire and brimstone when people are watching.
Mm-hmm.
But keeping it going when you're alone and everything hurts, and you've got to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
And write another sermon. Yeah.
There's also another excellent reason to want to leave where you are, because then you don't have to put that face on all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the fragility of an epiphany. Because he was faithful, and he had a crisis of faith, and then he was burnt to death and thought God saved him. So, hey.
Alright, cool. That's an interesting place we can start from anyway. Alright, Spanners. Is there anything that you want to look at, explore with Pip?
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I've given a sort of like the light side. I'm thinking about playing around with my own persona off camera with disability. And this is going to get weird. So I've kind of given a little bit of backstory to her, and I am going to play around with mentally how would you cope with actually getting better if you have been somebody who having a disability has been there all your life. Being a post-gen also leads to some quite interesting things with me, because obviously that they're not massively intelligent, although obviously first-gen, post-gen is not too bad, but I figured I could probably mean that I could have some slightly less lucid moments. So when I misread my captions and I can't hear you guys and I say something completely mental, it's actually not because I've misread your captions on the screen, it's because of the character.
Okay.
So no, I thought I'd kind of play around with what it does to your head, with coming to terms with never getting better and then suddenly being given the drugs to do it.
Ah, I like it. In that case, if you ever have to do anything like stop for a moment, you just have to say.
Yeah, no, I've been around it long enough, and I'm all good.
Is there anything that we can do to help you out with the captions? Because you said you had captions coming up at the bottom.
Yeah, I've got a load of software that reads you in real time.
Okay, is there anything that we can do to make that process easier, like for the words to come up properly? Because I know I talk like 1,000 miles an hour.
That's absolutely fine.
Okay, all right. In that case, to be fair, I think probably me not speaking as fast would probably help generally with everyone. Okay, I will. We'll see what we can do. For sure,
okay.
We'll see.
But yeah,
what we can do
if I
to
flail,
make it
it's because I'm signing it in my head.
Ah, okay. Cool. I like it. That is some.
Sorry,
quote... No. To quote, I just had this terrible idea in my head. Like to quote my friend Tiggy, who I'm playing with tonight. That's some deep shit right there. So, okay, I love it. This is good. Skag, what about you, man?
How long roughly will this game be in terms of game time?
This first arc probably will take place over probably less than a month to get from you guys getting into the cave, getting the kid and the priest, and then heading back out again. So I think probably about a month in this particular area. Other than that, the world will be your oyster, so to speak.
Yeah, but are we talking, you're seeing it as there is a need for pushing the clock like a couple of years, or will the 12 sessions or 10 or whatever be roughly around a couple of months?
Yeah, probably over a couple of months. These like 10-12 sessions, probably at the most, like in game time. Why, is there a thought you had? Because I can
No. I know exactly where I'm going. So, is it winter or summertime now?
Let's say it's winter, so it's still pretty hot outside, but not as bad as it is during the summer, and the nights are bloody freezing.
So John knows that he will probably die off to the summer. So he is holding that back and wanting to do something that is kind of holding at the very last as a memorable good deed, or something that he could kind of ship off to something that works.
He thinks he's going to die in the summer, or
he knows he will die.
He knows he will die in the summer. How does he know this? Yeah. This is the question I have. How does he get there from where he is now?
Probably that each summer, either it gets too hot, and each there is a reaction or whatever, but he knows that he won't be able to suffice over the warmth that is going, or something. Either he has a bad virus or bad illness or something that'll end the part of him somehow.
Maybe he's becoming a rotter.
He
views that as worse than death.
Then shoot himself, I guess.
Because it is.
Okay. Right. He thinks he will die. He knows he can't last another summer. Okay.
Or is he just over dramatic and slightly overweight?
No, looking at the pictures,
like
not
myself.
so overweight.
Okay, knows he can't last another summer. He'll probably die. Okay. Alright, that leads me to two questions. One, do you want to experience a character death? Like,
I'm thinking that whenever the group is doing the last, he will probably do a end scene somewhere, depending on where the group is.
Okay.
Send him off with a bang, or just walking away like Hulk.
Okay.
You want to walk away with like Hulk? We'll save you like She-Hulk. Rotter blood transfusion. No, you will never die.
Yeah, good luck finding a blood transfusion in this era.
Yeah, good luck finding someone who can do it. Alright. Okay. Cool. No, I might have an ending for him. It's going to be fun. Okay. Terracon.
Yes.
Same question to you, dude.
So the wishes and stuff, like what my character's going to be playing like, and
Yeah, like what do you want to do with this character? What do you want to see? What do you want to explore with them? We have some 3 pretty good corkers so far.
Just don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. No pressure.
Oh, thanks,
I
Mama
have
Roo.
already.
Jeez.
No pressure. But we want a 4th fucking good one.
I'm just going to mention no one's the hot one yet.
That's we.
I'm the crispy one.
What?
Oh my god.
We've already said I'm going to be the hot one.
Oh. But you're just a boy. It's fucking weird.
19 is not a boy.
Yeah.
It's a
There
man now.
are some really nice.
Maybe you should modify it so it's just like he's just a boy.
I'm
So
not
everyone
gonna-
finds him really cute, but
No.
like you know,
Repulsed.
I am not going to be playing as a kid. That's just weird.
no. Is it like you have the sexy perk, but everyone's like he's all right, you know, pat on the head, you know, I'll give him a discount, and in a few years maybe, but
Gross.
Tag on.
throw him
Up
back, let him grow.
Yeah, up the age a little bit so everything works.
It's okay.
Okay, let's say 25. There you go. How's that sound?
He's not a boy anymore.
As Grover has pointed out, his character is 17 and sexy, so
Yeah.
we've got this. We've done worse. We've done 16 and sexy, so but that's legal in the UK. All right. Just saying. Okay. All right. So yeah. What do you want to do? You still haven't answered my question, dude. What do you want to do with this character?
I've made it up on stream. I haven't really thought of that much into that.
It's alright, dude. I make everything up on stream. Solid. My notes are terrible.
I've seen your notes, so yes, I know.
My notes are terrible.
Your notes are bullet points.
Yeah, my notes are precise, kind of. Maybe. They're just a big sprawl of crap.
Well, I was thinking for the character, the reason he wants to get out of the actual dwelling is to try and actually make it functional again, because you said it was breaking down and not working.
Yeah, I think in the original text I sent you guys, this dwelling is in the process of falling to bits. It's not a fact that's widely known, it's just a fact that is. So there's a lot of repair efforts trying to go on, there's a lot of like trying to find replacement parts, but it's not told en masse to the populace, nor within the cave system itself. You know, virtually no one would know. You in your position of kind of power would know this. Your father would be kind of worried about it and can't not talk about it with you.
So I'm trying to do it in the background and try and get people to actually go to the dwelling that are useful, that can contribute to the dwelling to make it actually functional and open it up so people can actually exist there, not just die out slowly.
Survive. Thrive. Nice.
Yeah. And I was going to try play a good guy-ish. Just not to my dad.
Good guy. Sure.
Hey! I've tried multiple times and failed multiple times, but...
Alright, so I remember having this conversation right at the beginning of one of the other things that we started recently. It's like, I'm going to play a good guy. The first thing you
I
did
said
was
I'd try.
be a
I said
dick.
I'd try. I said I'd try. Trying is different to will be.
Okay, cool. You actually want to play a half-decent human. Nice. Cool. This will be a unique experience for you. I love it.
I know. I'm scared already.
So you should be. Okay. I don't have any other questions. I don't have anything else because y'all actually have kind of covered it as we've been going through, so I've not needed to ask any of them. Is there anything you guys want to ask me about the campaign? Anything you guys want to see in the campaign? Anything like that? Anything else you'll want to ask? Because now is the time, and then after that we'll close down. Again, if anyone has any questions in chat, just shout them out, and I'll do what I can to answer them.
There was talk a couple of weeks ago about having the zoo Drusilla's involved.
Okay.
I haven't forgotten the tapirs.
Drusilla. Drusillas. Okay, Skag, Drusillas is kind of our local zoo. It's a little one.
The zoo? What now?
We have a zoo nearby. Oh my god. We have a zoo nearby. It's called Drusillas. Apparently we want to go visit. Alright. Tapirs. Alright.
Tapirs, meerkats, penguins, llamas, ducks, lemurs.
Ooh.
Okay, cool. Anything else? Any other questions and such like?
Will the Grebe class exist?
Yes.
Excellent.
I will not.
That means nothing to anyone but,
3 people. Yeah. I will be explaining them pretty much not in the wink wink nudge nudge way. There is a force of them in this world, but you probably won't hit them in the first arc.
Cool. Yes. Will we run across rad badgers?
Yes.
Nice. Oh. Huzzah.
Enough fielding questions from you. You know what this world is already.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but you said that might change things, and if we don't run across rad badgers, I will be sad. And possibly alive.
And possibly alive, yeah.
I'm guessing the stuff we did in Pete's favour won't be in this.
No. Pete's favour is in no way canon to what we're going to be playing. Unless you really want them to be.
The Tales of the Twins. I mean, come on.
All right.
That is true.
All right, Pete's favour.
You want us to bump into the twins?
That
you
weird.
You want to run the risk of falling in love with yourself?
Oh, do it.
I don't see that as a problem. I do that every morning. Oh, you.
Oh.
You're one sexy bastard.
Okay, sure. All right, Pete's favour is now in canon. I have to work on the twins. Well, I guess
roll
it
up
would just
into
be,
the pub and
I guess it would just be the twins and Meredith, as Meredith is being pushed around on a cart with the twins nearby. I guess that's
Yep.
Reggie survived. He's just sitting in the pub having a drink.
Being eaten by Pete. Slowly.
I was
Got no
about
legs
to
at the
actually
moment.
type that as well, Skag. It's like, you assume he's only got one mirror. Wow. And he has a webcam, so, he just sees himself on Zoom. When you know that thing where you can pin yourself in Zoom, so you're the only thing you see? That's what he has going on.
Yeah, this one is hooked up to every laptop, every big screen
As
in the
Reflex
whole
says-
room.
As Reflex says, he's got a whole room just of mirrors. He just walks in and just goes, ah.
Perfection.
Exactly.
Oh god.
Wow. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, how the fuck do we get back on topic? Where were we? All right. Yeah. Other questions.
Topics.
In that case, I had topics. They're cleverly disguised behind my bumbling idiocy, but they're here. Any other questions? Happy to field them now. If not, then I'll assume that you guys are happy enough to start playing, and then we'll make some characters off stream.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
Yes.
All right, wicked. In that case, I think we're done. That's session 0. We've had the talk about the birds and the bees and how all this shit works. Okay, cool, loving it. In that case, is there anything anyone wants to shout out? Actually, we'll go around and do outros, and then we'll piss off and leave to these lovely people to themselves. Let's start with Spanners.
Okay, so I am Spanners, and you can find me now on Twitter as I am Spanners, and I'll be playing Pip.
Hang on, does that mean you've changed your Twitter handle?
I have changed my Twitter handle.
Oh,
I am now
no.
I_am_Spanners.
Oh no! Because I had a handy command.
I'm so sorry.
No.
Now.
I love the fact that it's now I am Spanners. That's actually very, very cool. I will change the command for next time for sure. I'll do it after the stream. I'll add that as a note. Change Spanners. Oh crap! I can't spell spanner.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That change sounds promising.
Can't change Spanners Twitter. Yes, thank you for that. That's really handy. On the command. All right, cool. All right, yeah, awesome. So ignore what we've got linked there, but go check out that. Cool. Let's move that way. One next to me. There, yeah, that one.
So me.
Yes.
I'm Terracon. You can find me in nowhere.
That's not true.
I have a Twitch channel, but I don't really use it that much.
No, that's true. But you occasionally do things on there.
Like, I think the last time I did it was like December, maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah, then ignore that.
4
you can't
years
find him
ago.
Anywhere.
Exactly, yeah.
Alright, cool. Dude in the top corner. That way.
Skagif do a little bit of twitching and playing John.
He does a little bit of Twitch. How long were you on Twitch yesterday?
3 hours. 4 hours 29.
And some.
Yeah, but there were breaks in between.
No, they weren't really breaks. You stopped them and they just started again like 5 minutes later, or maybe half an hour.
Yeah, you have to have good numbers.
Wow. Wow, Ben. We are going to be doing Portal of Yawning Portals of Annihilation this evening. Yep. So
in 2 hours.
In 2 hours. See, I gave you plenty of time this time around. In 2 hours, me and Skag are going to be on Skag's channel, and we're playing Yawning Portal. It's going to be cool. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter at blood_BTP and on our website bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk. And check out my Twitter because that's where we do all the stuffs. That's where I tell everyone about all the things. Thirsty.
Hey. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at thirsty_BTP, bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk, and I normally speak too fast, so you probably missed that.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Slow down. Stop being an asshole.
Slowly.
At bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk.
See,
where
now
occasionally I remember to do a thing.
We do say occasionally. I think all that's left to do is thank Kevin MacLeod for all the free house music we've been using, which I don't think we actually did today because I think I turned the sound off on the intro, and I doubt we're going to have sound on the outro. Yeah, so that was a whole technical fuck up on my end. Don't worry about it. These things happen. Is there anything anyone wants to shout into the void before I shut down for the evening?
As my mum used to tell me to say, thank you for having me.
Oh my god. And on that ridiculously cute and yet cringy note, I guess good night, drink up, and time at the spa, bitches. See ya.
Tra!